In this video, we will discuss demand management. Demand management in a supply chain has two main keys. One is demand forecast, meaning we want to estimate when the demand arrives and how many there are. The second one is plan, in which we focus on how the firms will respond based on the demand forecast. When making a demand management plan, it must conform to the strategy of the firm, the capabilities of the manufacturing, and the need of customers. Another important concept in demand management is customer order decoupling point. The order decoupling point refers to the stage in the production process where customer orders are accepted by the manufacturer. It is also the time when the company becomes responsible for determining the timing and the quantity of material to be purchased, produced, or finished. In other textbooks, order decoupling point is also referred to the order penetration point. For example, when you go to the grocery store and try to buy some toilet papers, the order decoupling point is the inventories in store. When you go to the car dealer to order a new car that is not in their parking lot, then the order penetration point is the work in process part on their production line. When you try to hire contractors to design and build a house, the supplier's inventory is the decoupling point. When you order the cell phone on Amazon, then the decoupling point is either Amazon's distribution centers or the manufacturer's warehouse, depending on where the phone is shipping from. The order decoupling point can also affect manufacturing's environments. When the finished good inventory is a decoupling point, the product is usually produced in the make-to-stock environment. When the semi-finished product is a decoupling point, then it is often assembled to order environment. If the decoupling point is the raw materials, then make-to-order is more suitable. Finally, if the decoupling point is from design to finished product, engineer to order environment is more likely. The relationship of manufacturing environments and order decoupling point can be summarized on this graph. Now, let's discuss demand management in each environment. The key focus in a make-to-stock environment is to maintain inventories of the finished product. Whether the customers are happy or not is mainly determined by whether the customer will be able to get the item in stock or not. So the main trade-off in make-to-stock environment is the inventory cost versus customer satisfactions. The more inventory you have, the easier customer can purchase them. However, when you have more inventory, the cost of the inventory and the risk of overstock are also much higher. That being said, determining the locations of your inventory becomes a very important task. For example, we can use warehouses and distribution centers to replenish the store inventory much quicker. We can also rely on vendor-managed inventory system to get a better forecast and try to shift the inventory risk to the supplier. We can also try to build a better logistic network. Also, most importantly, we can try to get a better demand forecast. For the assemble-to-order environments, the key focus is to define options available to customers, and whether customers are happy or not, depending on whether you can provide lots of different configurations or whether you will be able to deliver the product they want on time. So the main trade-off for the assemble-to-order environment would be assemble cost, configuration variety, and delivery speed. When you provide more options to customers, likely your cost will be higher and the delivery time will be much longer. However, you will be able to satisfy the customer much easier. Some strategies that you can overcome such issues would be to rely on lean productions or try to delay product differentiations to the very end. Or you can try to use the modularized design For example, when you go to a pen shop, although you can choose hundreds of different colors for your pen, white pen will be the only colors a store carry because they will be able to change to the color you want in the end. For the make to stock or engineer to orders, the key focus will be to coordinate the information on customers' need with engineering team. During the process, it is very important to keep customer informed and try to make a timely delivery too. The main trade-off in such environment will be your engineering capacities. The customer satisfactions will be based on how you can utilize everything you know in the supply chain management. Another key functions of demand management is to provide demand forecast information to the sales and operation planning in order to help the company build a capacity that will be needed for the productions. In fact, a key for success in demand management is information sharing with customers and the suppliers, because order and inventory records can provide very useful information on future demand. If a good partnership with customers and suppliers can be built, many data can be converted into very useful knowledge for your company. There are a couple things that you should consider when trying to capture demand data. For example, many companies try to estimate the demand by monitoring the actual sales only. However, the actual sales data may not completely reflect the demand. For example, if your inventory level is 10, when you are completely sold out, you cannot observe demand that are higher than 10 based on the sales data, because the sales data will show 10 units are sold out only. Those customers who cannot get the item they want may do things differently too. For example, some customers might choose not to buy anything, or some other customers might choose to go to a different store. If you only rely on the sales data, those demands cannot be captured. Some other companies try to capture demand by collecting shipment data or order data. However, if you don't know the purpose of the shipment, it creates problem too. Also, your supply chain partner may not have the incentive to report their true demand. For example, when the production capacity is very limited, your downstream customer may try to over-report their need in order to secure a larger portion of your supply. This is also something that you need to consider when you are working on the demand management.